$59. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash, all for only $59. If you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, we'll include a leak check at no charge. Call Rightway at 520-640-COOL for the $59 Super Tune-Up Special.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
We are
Live from the CNWT.
This is Jim Rome with
From
a
the
Sports
what?
Minute.
Central
Let's talk about
Northwest
the enormous-
Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
and Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Monday afternoon to you. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Happy first day of school for the kids at the University of Arizona. Campus is back and a buzzing. And that's what we love about Tucson. The vibe is back. Does not get any better than that. Football week, game week. New Mexico's coming to town. Had a chance to see them play a little bit on Saturday. And that was actually, they looked really impressive. Did the Lobos early in that ball game, but things got away from them at the hands of Montana State in the fourth quarter. The Bobcats scoring 3 touchdowns. They were trailing 31-14 in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, and the Bobcats scoring 3 touchdowns in the fourth to win the ball game, including the final touchdown with about 11 seconds to go. And they take it 35-31, a heartbreaking home loss for Bronco Mendenhall and his boys in the first game of his tenure. We've got 2 new coaches that'll be on the sidelines this week here in Southern Arizona. Bronco Mendenhall, longtime coach at BYU, who is now the head man at New Mexico. And, of course, Brent Brennan here in Tucson, taking over the program from Jed Fish, his first season at Arizona. Wildcats were on the field today. Practice closed today to the media, but it will be back open tomorrow and Wednesday, so we'll get a chance to take a look at the Wildcats tomorrow and Wednesday ahead of Saturday's game. Coaches show tonight. You'll hear that right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, starting at 6:05 in the p.m. from Union Public House. So get on up to Union Public House. Brian Jeffries, Brent Brennan tonight. Again, you'll hear it right here. Also, you will hear Brent Brennan's press conference earlier today to the media on campus. He talked about this week and game week and what he's hoping for and what he got out of watching the game on Saturday between New Mexico and Montana State. So we'll dive into Brent Brennan's comments. There's a lot of new stuff that's going to be happening at the stadium. They talked about that on Friday. We didn't get a chance to get into that Friday because we were out at Sabino High School. So you will hear from Tony Daniel, who is one of the new folks over at the University of Arizona, who is going to be in charge of the game day atmosphere. Tony and his crew over in Missouri were very well renowned for what they did with the game day fan experience at Missouri Tiger games. And that crew now here in Arizona looking to turn things around. I guess they've got a new DJ this year. It's going to be playing a big city kind of DJ and some other things happening throughout the game that will be to your entertainment. So we'll hear from Tony Daniel and all of that. Also, Desiree Reed-Francois spoke on Friday. We'll get her thoughts as well about how she feels about week 1 of this college football season. We want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. How excited are you? Finally, we have reached game week here at the University of Arizona. Soccer went on the road to number 5 North Carolina. I mean, they gave the Tar Heels, the 21-time champion Tar Heels, all they wanted for 75 minutes. but great teams find a way down the stretch. And Carolina wins the game on Sunday 2-0 over the Wildcats. So Arizona Soccer is suffering their first loss of the season. Arizona Volleyball went on the road for an exhibition game in Northern Colorado. They win 3-1. And I mentioned we were at Sabino on Friday night. High school football started week 1 of the high school football season. We don't term it. They gave up the term week 0 as it relates to high school football a number of years ago. So it's just week 1. And then everybody else. So week 1 was the lower divisions, conference 3A, 2A, 1A. And then everybody else, 4, 5, and 6, will begin their first games next week, this coming Friday, which will actually be week 2. We will be Friday down on Main Gate Square, and we like to term it Bear Down Fridays, but some news on that over the weekend as well. Bear Down Fridays is not going to be what it once was. And I forget the actual date. I believe it goes back to, I think, maybe around 2003, 4 when they started Bear Down Fridays, which the band would parade down campus, through campus, down University Avenue to a stage off of Tyndall and have a pep rally. And it would be for every home game. So we would get Bear Down Friday about 6 to 7 times a year, depending on how many weeks the Wildcats were at home for games. Not this year. This year, Bear Down Fridays is being drastically reduced. How does that make you feel? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. I spoke with the folks at Main Gate Square this morning, and they told me that there are right now only 3 Bear Down Fridays on the schedule, and those are all going to be in October. Wildcats will play 3 home games in the month of October, the 5th, the 19th, and the 26th, I believe, are the dates for those home games on Saturdays. So there will be Bear Down Fridays on those 3 Fridays, the 4th, the 18th, and the 24th of October. But there will be no Bear Down Fridays in terms of, as you know it, with a parade, with a pep rally. There will be no Bear Down Friday this Friday night. Stunner there, I think. Stunner. J-Dub joins us. J-Dub is a guy that worked on 4th Avenue, but I think you were down, University Avenue, I'm sorry, but you were down there probably in the years before Bear Down Fridays.
I was a 90s bartender.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Bear Down
Fridays.
Fridays.
You're an OG bartender.
Bear Down Fridays did not happen until after I left university, but I've been down there for, a handful, 7, 10 maybe, Bear Down Fridays, since it's changed to the more recent version. And yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch all the students more than anything, DK. Sit there and listen to the speakers. They always have a nice DJ or bands playing, and obviously waiting for Pride of Arizona Marching Band to come through and walk all the way down University. It's kind of a spectacle. And in lieu of the budget situation and budget cuts, I'm not shocked that this may be a portion. It's so tough, DK, because you're talking about school spirit. You're talking about new people on campus. How far away is that from the dorms? Right? Hop, skip, and a jump. So any new freshman on campus who wants to know what the U of A football team's all about, this Friday for the first home game, the Bear Down Friday thing would be their first opportunity. So in that way, it's unfortunate. But again, any cuts that are made to the athletic department or the university as a whole, I'm not shocked, simply because of the situation that we find ourselves in.
And I'm not sure. I know this was always a collaborative effort between athletics and Main Gate Square. I believe, though, it sounded, at least like to me, that this was majority a decision that was being made by Main Gate Square. I'm hearing rumblings that there's been some turnover there as well, and they're trying to get their I's and T's in a row.
Sure.
Over there, and so maybe it's just not feasible at the moment for them to try to perform such an undertaking. But we've reached out to, again, I talked to Main Gate Square earlier today. I asked if they had somebody that could go on with us. We'll see if we can get somebody on at some point later this week to kind of discuss the changes, what they're planning for October, if it'll be the same type of thing. But, yeah, that's definitely disappointing to hear that there's not going to be a Bear Down Fridays, much like we had heard early in the summer that there wasn't necessarily going to be a cat cruiser, but as we reported to you a few weeks ago, that's changed, and there is going to be a cat cruiser now for fans to be able to come down from Phoenix on game day to see their Arizona Wildcats.
That's because of the testimonial that one of our favorite regular callers, Paul in Phoenix, called up about 3 months ago. And for those who don't know, he's sight impaired, and so he's taken the cat cruiser down for decades and has not missed a football game. He came on our show and gave his testimonial about how sad he was, the cat cruiser. 8 weeks later, DK, it's back.
Yeah.
And good for them. I mean, it's so tough. I think a lot of people who may not have the means to make it down, but do want to be able to support full-throated the U of A football team in Arizona Stadium every week, having that availability for those people, especially in the greater Phoenix area, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to keep that going.
So right now, again, there's only 3 Bear Down Fridays that are currently on the schedule. I'm also told potentially they may add more. They may add one for the first Big 12 home game, which, let's see, that is scheduled to be on the, well, actually, that is the first Big 12 home game is one of the ones. So October the 4th is the first Big 12 home game against Texas Tech, which is on the 5th, because the Wildcats will play their first Big 12 game on the road at Utah on September the 28th. So the first 3 Big 12 games will all have Bear Down Fridays. And then, of course, they generally did not have one anyway prior to the ASU game because it generally falls during the holiday week. So there would have only been one other, because I think there's 7 home games. So you're not getting the 2 here in September for the New Mexico, late August, New Mexico, and next week, September, Northern Arizona. And you're not getting the one at the end, the 2 at the end of the year, which would be November 15th for Houston. Or I'm sorry, November 15th. That game is a Friday night anyway, so they probably would not have done it on Thursday because the Wildcats are playing that Friday night home game in November. So
I will
essentially 3 you're not going to get.
I will say this, speaking from experience, being that this is the first week that students, they've been trickling into the dorms, right, for the past week. But this is really the first week and the first weekend on campus starting this Friday. So even though there isn't a Bear Down Friday officially and there's no stage set up and there won't be a microphone with lots of DJs and stuff, DK, the energy this weekend, because there's still parents in town who've moved their kids in, they're reliving their college years, and then you've got the whole new energy from all the new students, all the students coming back. That area where Bear Down Fridays usually is, at the same time, this Friday is going to have, if you want to gather a group of your 5 or 10 closest friends and just kind of walk down the sidewalk singing the Bear Down fight song, I think that might suffice, because there's going to be similar energy down there, DK, even if it's not an official event.
Yeah, and again, you can come down, you can hang out. We'll be down there. We're still going to be down there. We're still going to be calling it Bear Down Friday. So you can come down, hang out with us at Illegal Pete's, because that's where we will be every Friday home game this year, or before a Saturday home game, I said, because, again, there's going to be a Friday night home game. I don't think we're doing the Thursday show ourselves on the night before the Friday home game, but who knows? I don't know. We'll have to find that out and get back to you. But yeah, come down, hang out. It's like I put this information out on Twitter, and somebody responded. It's still an opportunity for folks to go down and see the band practice, because the band will be practicing on Friday. So you can still go down on Fridays on campus, watch the band practice, and then go down to University Avenue and support local businesses. Any opportunity to support local businesses on a home weekend, a home football weekend, should absolutely be done, whether there's organized activities around it or not. So we definitely invite you to do that. Again, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We do want to hear your thoughts, though, on the ending of the traditional Bear Down Fridays. Just 3 out of the 7, again, will be happening this year, October 4th, 18th, and 25th. So the 3 home games that the Wildcats will play in the month of October. We'll get into that. Cardinals lost to the Broncos. Final preseason game. It all starts for real in about a week and a half. The NFL is actually they're playing. I think they're playing 4 games on. They're playing Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday on opening weekend because they've got the game in Brazil, which is going to be a Friday night game. So we're going to have 4 days of NFL football in week 1, which is about a week and a half away. Now we can dive into how you feel about the Cardinals. They didn't really show much. They didn't really play a whole lot of guys in the preseason. Preseason is to the point where why are we even doing it? Because, you do get some guys that play and some fringe guys and that are going to maybe make the roster potentially that got out there. We've begun to kind of keep an eye on the waiver wire, and we'll let you know where the Wildcats who are in camps pan out. Levi Wallace was playing with the Broncos. Saw him yesterday. He's on his 3rd team, so Levi's kind of at that point where he may be teetering on the end of his career, so we'll have to see if he makes the Broncos 53. We'll try to keep you up to date on all of that as we go through this week. The final cutdowns, the final rosters need to be submitted, even though there's not games for a week and a half. The final 53s have to be submitted by midday our time tomorrow. It's DK on the Sports Tip. His name is J.W. Madden. Cricket is also here, and she gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Collisions that are reported Rancho, Sarita Boulevard and Saurita Road and Rancho, Saurita Boulevard. Other crashes, Ajo and Benson Highway and Ajo Way, Speedway, and I-10 on Speedway at I-10. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain and a 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop Labor Day savings at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/4 while supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
We are Tucson's home of the NFL. Sunday, Thursday night football.
Wide open for Mahomes.
The NFL playoffs.
He high steps it in for the touchdown.
And the Super Bowl. This is Tucson Sports Station. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy. O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery. Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Arizona Wildcats fans, make your smartphone smarter by liking us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290 for all the latest on the Wildcats, including football, men's hoops, and baseball. This is the exclusive home of Arizona football. Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. The Chargers did apparently get a lot out of their trip to Dallas this weekend. It just had nothing to do with playing the Cowboys. The biggest battle of last weekend of the preseason did not play out on the actual field. It was not Chargers v. Cowboys. It was Chargers v. Dallas Hotel Elevator. You want to talk about overcoming adversity. You want to talk about team building. You want to talk about developing a toughness groove. The way to do that is to get stuck in an elevator for 2 hours with 15 other people, including 11 of your sweaty teammates, including the $262 million man, Justin Herbert. True story. Wild situation. And wouldn't you know that Jim Harbaugh would have FOMO over not being a part of it? He literally said after the fact, quote, "Who's got it better than those guys that were on that elevator?" End of quote. And he even called it a dub.
Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of BrakeBest Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We have a lot happening this week. It is game week here in southern Arizona. The Wildcats will take on New Mexico on Saturday at the stadium. It is a 7 o'clock kickoff. Again, our coverage on Saturday will begin at 2:30 in the afternoon, 2:30 with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. And it'll be me, Kelvin Ifan, and our guy, Glenn Howe. So we'll have all of that for you along with J.W. Madden. So we'll have you getting you set for Arizona football, and then network takes over at 5:30. Kyle Quinn, Brody Dryden will have the network pregame for you leading up to kickoff with Lamont Lovett and Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats, for the call of the Wildcats and New Mexico Lobos. Now, again, fan engagement from day one has been something that is kind of a pillar of a Desiree Reed-Francois candidacy as an athletics director. It's something she's been very high on at all of the stops that she's been at, whether it's UNLV as an athletics director, whether it was Missouri as an athletics director. Desiree and her team do what they can to increase fan engagement. It was something that they were known for at Missouri. It's going to be interesting to see some of the new things that they're going to attempt to do here in Tucson at University of Arizona home football games. We had a chance to hear from one of the members of her team, Tony Daniel. He is Senior Associate Athletics Director for Revenue Generation and Engagement. He spoke on Friday at the Lowell Stevens football facility. They actually unveiled some of the new foods that are going to be at the ballpark. We'll go over that as well. I didn't get a chance to get over there, so I didn't get any of that fun, fine eating on Friday, but we'll run down the list of some of the new stuff you're going to be able to eat at Arizona Stadium this season. But let's hear from Tony on some of the things that they've got planned for these first two home games coming up against New Mexico and Northern Arizona.
We are extremely excited to be here. 8 days away from football. It just gets your blood boiling. It gets you excited. And we can't wait for our fans and new fans around the country to come to Arizona Stadium and take in everything that Tucson has to offer. I will dive into the 5 initiatives. We've talked to our fans, and we will talk to them extensively over the next year, and especially this fall as we dive into the football season. We've done surveys. We've heard your remarks and the things that you like and don't like, and we're going to look at addressing some of those things here. And I'll start with our food. The concession offerings, you're seeing a lot of that today. Expanded concession offerings, expanded locations, expanded food and beverage items. Those things are going to be on full display as you enter Arizona Stadium this fall. And it's really exciting to, again, show our fans and those around the country coming in what they can expect with a little taste of Tucson here today. Another thing that we've heard a lot of is how we use our video boards. What can we do to expand replay options? What can we do to expand the fan experience with statistics? So our teams are working around the clock to expand those offerings. We've got some new camera solutions that we're going to be implementing in the stadium this year. John Daly and his team operate our video boards. Those folks are working tirelessly to make sure that you're getting a first-class experience in our stadium, because we know the television. You can watch those things at home. You're getting replays all the time. We want to make that experience even better in stadium because you're getting the live product. So that's kind of our third initiative. Increased fan engagement during games. We heard a lot of surveys, responses about our DJ, our in-game DJ service. We will be getting a new DJ this year at Arizona Stadium. He's done work with Arizona Cardinals. He's the DJ for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. He will be traveling from Phoenix here to Tucson with us, so we're excited about that improvement. Again, I mentioned the new camera equipment. That will only improve the fan experience. Seeing yourself on the big screen when you come to Arizona Stadium is a big deal for fans, so that'll also be improved. And then finally, our fifth improvement is the return of the Cat Cruiser. We've heard a number of surveys, responses about the Cat Cruiser. And for those that are unfamiliar, that's a shuttle service from Phoenix to Tucson for our fans that have season tickets and tickets to our games. They can ride round trip for $25 a game from Phoenix to Tucson and back. And so that's a return of that is an exciting proposition for our fans, and just another way to make sure our stadiums are full. Desiree mentioned the excitement that we have around our season ticket holders and those things. So we can't wait to unveil these things here in the coming days to the public, but excited to do that with you all today and give you a sneak peek into the 5 improvements.
All right, that is Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel, the Associate Athletics Director at the University of Arizona, talking about just a few of the things. New DJ will be one of those things that's going to be at Arizona Stadium. The DJ apparently for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Cardinals. And if I'm not mistaken, Steve Kerr had a few things to say about that guy once during a game.
You know what? in this building, you can't hear anything because it's like a club. It's like a South Beach club. It's just this thumping techno club music. Thumping techno club music. Thumping techno club music. Thumping techno club music.
Remember that, man. I know. Now I love thumping techno club music. You know, I'm a house music junkie, J-Dub. So we'll see if that's kind of what we're going to get at these games. I don't know that guy's name, right? But we'll have to find that out.
There's a balance between entertaining the people who are maybe a moment away from pulling their phones out and scrolling because they're not interested in what's happening in front of them. That's a lot of the entertainment on site for NBA and NFL and a lot of those arenas, keeping people engaged at all times. There's a definite compromise, DK, between that and so loud, as Steve Kerr said right there, that you couldn't talk to Steph, who is standing a foot away from you. So, right. Well, yeah, we'll see how that balance goes at Arizona Stadium this year.
Going to be fun. Going to be some new things, as they mentioned. There'll be some new food items that are going to be on the list. And, I mean, J-Dub, I know you are a connoisseur of the grill, so yeah. You'll have to maybe see if you want to go back to your homestead and try to fricassee up any of these great items that we've got on the list this year.
It was mostly fun, and we'll obviously play this back later in the show, DK, but listening to Desiree Reed-Francois talk about, she said, quote, "I don't remember Tucson being a foodie town when I was in law school here, but man, does Tucson have the best food in the world." Is basically what she was saying during her time talking about the new food that they're offering at Arizona Stadium. So yeah, super excited. I've always loved the local cuisine. Sonora's one of my favorite styles, and just that intermingling of all the different cultures coming together. There's some really great restaurants, really great chefs. So anything we can do to show the world. We got a whole new conference, DK. We got a whole new group of schools who are going to be making trips into Tucson, people who've possibly never been to the old Pueblo. So putting your right foot forward with some fine local Tucson cuisine, gastronomy city of the world, that whole thing, the more the better.
Yeah. So in case you were, you heard him mention the Cat Cruiser, which is back for fans from Phoenix. Buses will arrive at Arizona Stadium. They're scheduled to arrive 2 hours prior to kickoff, and they'll depart 30 minutes after the game. You can get purchase tickets for all 7 home games for that. We talked about the new DJ that's going to be there. There's also going to be new camera equipment that's going to allow for more fans to be featured on the video boards. There's going to be additional fireworks during the pregame introductions. I've always thought that I can't imagine more, but maybe they're going to shoot them off the top of the stadium too, like we've seen in some locations. But I always thought that they do a great job with the pyrotechnics before the game. There's also going to be an enhanced light show between the third and the fourth quarters that are coming up. Food-wise, you're going to have new vendors. Rudy's Barbecue will be in the house, along with Chick-fil-A. Cactus Connections Fresh Lemonade, Kettle Corn are all staples of Arizona Stadium. How about some of the new actual food items? There's going to be a Big 12 dog, J-Dub, a Big 12 dog, and a Bear Down burger that you can get now. At the I don't know exactly what's on. They didn't tell us exactly what's on any of those things. Real bears? I hope not.
Probably not.
I hope not. If it is, then I definitely am not going to eat that. Yeah, so Big 12 dog, Bear Down burger among the things, and new to-go boxes made with 100% recycled content. So we're trying to, do our best for to kind of make sure that the environment is well, too, with what we've got going on at some of these stadiums. So those are just a few of the things. Margarita Casitas. Oh, well, that sounds like something that I would definitely like. That's going to be in 3 locations on ramps above gates 4 and 5 for the Margarita Casitas. And then there's the new walk-through brew where you can get iced down drinks, popcorn, peanuts, and all of that kind of thing as well. They've gone to the self-checkout kiosks, which we saw the last few seasons at McHale Center as well. They'll have all those at Arizona Stadium this year, too. So first game coming up is Saturday night, 7. It's 7 o'clock, right? This one release says 7:30, but I believe it's 7 o'clock this week and 7:30 next week.
7:30 kick is what, I'm seeing.
Oh, you're seeing 7:30?
Yeah, for the New Mexico game.
I am. Okay, well, I'll have to double check that because I've been saying wrong. I thought it was 7:30 this week and 7 o'clock next week. So we'll have to definitely make sure that we have all of that correct for you because we don't want you there too late or too early and miss kickoff this week. And don't forget, again, first Brent Brennan radio show coming up tonight right here, Wildcats Radio 1290. Brian Jeffries and the coach live from Union Public House, so be sure to get on up there. They'll be doing the show there every Monday night, except for the Monday nights where there's a bye week and the Wildcats don't play. So there'll be a show this Monday. There will be a show next Monday, despite the fact that it's a holiday. So you will get the Brent Brennan show next Monday night for Labor Day. So day drink during the day if you'd like, and then go see Brent Brennan. And, just don't ask any questions.
Can I day drink too?
You could, absolutely.
But then I'd be drunk when I was running that show. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, you can't do that.
I'll drink after.
So there will be no show on September the 16th, obviously, because the Wildcats have a early bye in September, and then there'll be no show on Monday, November the 4th, ahead of the Wildcats bye week in November. So there's 2 bye weeks coming up this year on the schedule for Arizona football. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. It was a very, and I mean very, good week for the Diamondbacks. Good weekend for the Diamondbacks in Boston, Massachusetts. Is there anything better than I don't know if there's, going to Yankee Stadium and kicking the Yankees' butt, but going to Boston and kicking the Red Sox butt is almost as good.
I think it's situational because guess what? 25 years ago, beating the Yankees in Yankee Stadiums was as high as it gets. But think about how much success New England's had. Right. You can even include the Connecticut Huskies in that. Between the Patriots and the Red Sox and all the success they've had up there, those are some very proud fans. So going into that place, maybe taking a road trip from Phoenix and going and seeing the Diamondbacks do it, that's a great weekend.
We didn't even get into the Connecticut Huskies in the Big 12, possibly.
Well, yeah, rumors
last week.
We'll see how that all works out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, DK on the Sports Tip is the show. We want to hear from you again, 520-848-1290. Your thoughts on any of the things we have discussed thus far, some of the new food and DJ options at Arizona Stadium. What do you think about that? We'll get into that as well as the Diamondbacks here shortly. But right now, Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported at Wilmot and Carondelet and Wilmot, Sahuarita Road and Rancho Sahuarita Boulevard, from earlier Ahaway and Benson Highway and also Speedway and I-10. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain, and it is 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school, including tech. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Staples Easy Rewards program. Offer ends 8/31. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on New Mexico at Arizona Stadium this Saturday. Sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine line, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team. But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast.
You're also saying the record's going to go down.
I'm saying the record's going down anyway. The guy.
I don't think you're off on this at all. Like, you're spot on here. I don't think this is an overreaction because we have no idea what we're reacting to.
Come react or overreact with us.
How would you say that? An overreaction, sir.
Overreaction Monday, wherever you listen.
It's game over. Over, man.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It's like you got one of those 250 horsepower engines.
I think 390, 360.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. What do you got?
It's a Hemi 5.7.
Are you out there street racing?
So here's the headline. Cricket, famous for traffic reports, crashes her car going 115 on Speedway. Probably not the best headline.
There you go.
yeah.
Right. All right, you're not jumping over anything like
the Dukes of Hazzard,
right?
No, I want to though. It's epic.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zeldy is introducing Zeldy Hardies, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardies, a new way to treat ED, today. Text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
The heat is here. Unfortunately, as some of you turn on your AC, you'll find nothing happens. It makes weird noises or just blows hot air. We hope it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, don't panic. Call Rightway and we'll get an expert out to your home.
If your AC is in need of repairs, book today and save 15%. Call or text 520-385-7173 or visit rightwayac.com. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life. And it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. Let's talk about the enormous upset that happened over the weekend, but it did not happen on the field. I'm talking about a major upset in smack talk. I'm talking about one of the lamest smack talkers in the world, somehow getting over and dunking on one of the best smack talkers in the world. Magic Johnson v. Anthony Edwards. Ant had a terrible take. Irv took you to the woodshed. I'm Jim Rome.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to call and get in on the program. Again, it was a great weekend in Boston for your Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff! All right, so the road trip started in Tampa Bay, and the Diamondbacks got swept by the Rays, and then they went to Miami, and the Diamondbacks found themselves and beat up on the lowly Marlins, and then they had to go up the eastern seaboard to Massachusetts and take on the Boston Red Sox, which is never an easy thing to do going into play at the legendary Fenway Park. But boy, oh boy, did things get off to a really good start on Friday night. Ryan Nelson was on the bump for the D-backs. And anytime you want to start a series right, get some good pitching to do that.
Get on 3-2. Right on the corner, he rung him up. Ryan Nelson spotted that one, and it was a beauty. 7 strikeouts for Nelly, who has set down 9 straight.
So Ryan Nelson, again, he's the guy that's going to be at the forefront of this rotation now that and the news came out over the weekend that Torey Lovullo is going to put Jordan Montgomery into the bullpen. Jordan Montgomery, who has been struggling mightily in his starting role. Ryan Nelson, 6 innings, allowed just 2 runs on 5 hits and had 7 strikeouts in the game. He did give up 1 home run in this game, and it came to this guy.
92 pitches, 60 strikes. 1-2 to Rob Refsnyder. Refsnyder gives it a ride. Corbin Carroll back to the bullpen fence, and it's gone. Refsnyder, 9 home runs. He's having a career year at the plate.
Career year, we talked about it. Robert Refsnyder, Arizona baseball class of 2012. His best major league season, 291 average, 9 home runs, as you heard Steve Bertoom on the Diamondbacks television network say there. He's driven in 34 runs as an OPS of 841. Healthy and playing is Robert Refsnyder. Unfortunately, he's not on a team that's necessarily all that good in the Red Sox, and probably a team that at this point is likely not going to make the postseason. They're 9.5 games out in the division, just 4 games over 500 is Boston right now, and they're 5 games out of the wild card. So if the Red Sox intend to make a move, they better think about doing so really quick. Now, they are in 4th place in the wild card, so they're the team that's staring up at the 3 leaders, but they've got a huge deficit right now on Minnesota, which has that last playoff spot. So the Red Sox with definitely some work to do. All right, so this game was pretty tight for the most part through the early portions of the contest. But later on, after Refsnyder put the Red Sox on the board to make it a 5-2 game, the Diamondbacks put this game out of doubt in the 7th inning with the bases loaded. Eugenio Suarez at the plate.
A chance to blow this thing open right here. Suarez hits a fly ball, left field, and that one is gone into the monster seats for a grand slam. Well, as they like to say it here, he hit that thing wicked far.
I thought it was
9 grand slams by the Diamondbacks this year. That leads the major leagues.
Now, Steve Bertoom worked at ESPN, so I'm sure he's very familiar with the eastern part of the country up there. I thought it was wicked hot. He said wicked far. I thought it was wicked hard. Where do you stand on that, J-Dub? Is it wicked far or wicked hard?
Hard.
Hard.
Hard, I think, is the origin.
Yeah.
I think he was just making a little twist to make it sound like this.
Okay.
Here he hit that thing wicked far.
Wicked far.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll make that our question of the day today. Do you like wicked far or wicked hard? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 for you, Boston. If you're a Boston native living here in southern Arizona, you tell us, is it wicked far or wicked hard? Because I don't come from that part of the country.
Both my sister and my dad went to school in Boston.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, the New England accent.
Can we get your sister on the phone to tell us what it is?
She's from New York. She went to college in Boston, and she's lived in L.A. for the last 30 years. So whatever accent she has now is all over the place.
There you go. Now she's got the Valley accent, right?
No, more like
totally
near the coast.
Oh, okay.
Married to a doctor at UCLA.
Oh, woo. Okay. Living the high life over there. So 12-2 the final on Friday. D-backs get the win. And then they handed the ball to Zach Gallen on Saturday. More good pitching.
The 0-2 swung on and missed, and Gallen just showing very little respect for Gasper in that at-bat. He just dominated him. Now the pitch, sharply on the ground, diving Perdomo in the glove, back to his feet, he throws him out in time. Oh man, so good. Geraldo Perdomo, and that, the exclamation point on a 1-2-3, bottom of the second.
4 no-hit innings for Gallen. He has had to work a bit. He's walked 3. He's got 5 strikeouts. Right there, got him, rung him up with a changeup. 6 strikeouts for Zach.
The theme so far is a lot of backward strikeouts for the Red Sox over the first game and a half of this series.
0-2 on the Boston shortstop. Zach Gallen feeling that curveball. 7 strikeouts for Zach, and there's 2 outs in the 5th. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Didn't hold up. Gallen went to that good old curveball and gets strikeout number 8. The Boo Birds are out in Boston.
Nothing better than the Boo Birds in Boston. Zach Gallen, 6 innings on Saturday. He did walk 4, so a little erratic at times, but he did strike out 9 to get his 10th win of the year. The bullpen, Ryan Thompson, A.J. Puck, and Paul Sewald at the end. Paul Sewald gave up a run in the 9th, so it does not count as a save because he entered with a 4-run lead. He still is, trying to find himself there, but pitching with some only a shorter advantage at the end of the game, trying to get him back into that mindset. A.J. Puck just continues to be nails. He struck out 2 in a 12-pitch 8th inning. That is turning out to be a tremendous, tremendous pickup. And all Gino Suarez did on Saturday was drive in 2 more of the Diamondbacks 4 runs. So that now puts him at 6 for the weekend. And then on Sunday, how about trailing 4-3 in the 6th, Gino Suarez with 2 aboard.
Gino sends one out to left. Suarez at Fenway. And he's done it again. Hey, Eugenio Suarez. We know it's Gino. And it's 6-4 Diamondbacks. They were down 4-0, and they come back in the 5th and 6th.
You remember, do you ever watch the Celtics games? Have you been to a Celtic game, J-Dub? I've never been to a Celtic game in Boston.
At the Garden?
Yeah.
I don't think I've never been to a game. No,
So
I've been there, but I've never been to a game. No.
During the recent, during like the 2000s run, like when they were playing LeBron and the Cavs and all that a lot, they used to have this thing in the fourth quarter when the game would be out of reach, home win would be out of reach. They would play the old disco song, "You Should Be Dancing,"
right?
Yeah. And then what they would do is they would show like old clips of American Bandstand,
right,
while this was on. So it was actually probably a clip of that song being played on American Bandstand back in the 70s. And there was this guy with like total 70s Afro black Italian hair. And he like had on this shirt that would say Gino. And so every time it would get to that part of the video at the Garden, or at TD Gardens, or whatever they call it now, and this guy Gino would pop up on the screen, the crowd would go wild for Gino, because that was just like, you wanted to hear that song because you knew the game was out of reach, the Celtics were going to win, and then you get Gino on the screen, and he's dancing. Yeah. I think it's Bee Gees, right?
I believe so. This is from the Celtics dance-off on their screen, so they're about to show Gino here any second. They got Gino up and down the side of it in Celtic green.
Yeah. So, yeah, they got a new Gino this week. There he is. Gino. It's like, but that's one of the things I love about sports. It's like every fan base, everybody has their like thing that when you go to the game and you want to see. It was like back in the day when I was growing up and my uncle was playing in Baltimore with the Orioles. we would go to see Wild Bill. I talked about Wild Bill, I think, last year. We'd go see Wild Bill because he'd get up on top of the dugout and he would do the ORIOLES chant. He had a big cowboy hat on, Wild Bill Hagee. And you go and every team kind of has their thing, and so this became kind of the Celtics thing during that 2010s to 2020 area when Kevin Garnett and all those guys were
Rondo, Paul Pierce,
exactly that era.
All I have to
was
say
Gino.
to all that is R.I.P. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
Man here.
Yeah,
right. I mean, everybody. We had. Whatever it is.
Doug. Doug does quite a bit of that as well.
Yes, he does.
Doug, he loves to paint his face and run around and get everybody to make noise.
We got to maybe come up with a name for Doug that they make that go viral. When he goes to the games.
Okay.
So Gino finished the weekend with 8 hits. 8 for 15 was Gino. He drove in 10 runs. In the series. 10. Okay, so the Diamondbacks scored 23 runs in this series. 23 runs. Gino drove in 10 of them. So there you go. I don't know if that's going to get him National League Player of the Week, but it probably should. We'll have to see if that's come out yet today because I haven't heard anything whether or not he got that. All right, we will hear from Torey Lovullo coming up a little bit later. It's a 3-game sweep. Off night tonight.
He also scored 5 runs.
Yes, he did.
So there's some more math for you.
So a double.
Drove in 10 and scored 5 himself.
A double and 2 home runs to drive in those 10 runs and score 5 runs. So not a bad night or weekend for Gino.
Not a bad 2 weekends because when you go, you get swept by by Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The best response, DK, is to sweep the next 2 series.
Yeah, that's what you want. And so you've got the New York Mets coming to town this week as the road trip ends 6-3. Again, winning road trips. They're winning these road trips. That is a very, very good sign for the Diamondbacks, who are now 19 games over 500, with the Mets coming to town tomorrow night to start a homestand. 6:40 will be first pitch. Again, we'll hear from Torey coming up a little bit later. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden's here. Cricket is here. Stay with us into the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to hear from Brent Brennan today at his weekly press conference. Everything he had to say. Brent Brennan show coming up later tonight at 6:05 right here. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported at Ajo and Benson Highway and Ajo Way, Wilmot and Carondelet and Wilmot and Sarita Road and Rancho Sarita Boulevard, and some busy travel for traffic on Grant Road east of Country Club to near Alvernon Way due to road work. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain. It is 101 now, mostly sunny. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Labor Day weekend savings are here at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and a notebook for every subject. Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue. You got it. And markers? Of course. Oh, geez. Might I suggest 2 cards?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and 2-pocket poly folders are only 50 cents each at Staples. NC31 in-store only, limit 10 while supplies last.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription.
Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400. Get ready, Wildcats fans! We're bringing you the excitement as we kick off a new era in the Big 12. Tune in Saturday, August 31st as the Cats take on New Mexico. Kickoffs at 7:30, pregames at 3. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcats football team with their first home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on New Mexico. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:30 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to KHID1075.com.
The one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 on this game week. Arizona football at the end of the week. Going to be playing some football against New Mexico. And you know what that means? We've got a depth chart for the first time this season. You know it's football season. You know it's game week when you get a depth chart. And we've got a depth chart. So let's talk about that to start this hour number 2 of the program. If you want to get in, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number. All right. So some of the things on here we kind of knew about. Nothing, there is one name missing from this too deep that I'm a little just kind of popped out to me right away. And I'll get into that. We haven't seen the team this week, haven't seen the team since last week, so don't know what's going on in terms of the one name that's missing, but we'll get to that. So obviously, offensive line, we knew that there were going to be some changes at the left tackle. Rhino, I hadn't said the name in so long. Now I got to look it up to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
Tapatotai?
Yeah. Tapatotai.
I've never said it out loud myself, but I've heard you say it enough that it's in there.
So Rhino Tapatotai is the left tackle. He's listed as the starting left tackle. We thought that was going to be the case. Wendell Moy, who was limited at times during camp, is in at left guard. Josh Baker is your center. Now, the interesting position is right guard. Ryan Stewart is listed as a starter, or, sometimes they do one name, or Leif Magnuson. And that's maybe one of the things we're just not real clear on right now is the status of Leif Magnuson, who missed a ton of camp after practicing the first 2 days. Ryan Stewart primarily worked with the first team throughout training camp. So that is how the right guard position stands right now. So again, 2/5 of your offensive line, a little bit different than what you thought it was going to be going into camp. The running back battle. Right now, it's listed. They're listing all 4 guys that we thought were going to be on this list as oars. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or Quali Connolly or Kedrick Riscano or Rayshawn Luke. So that's how the running backs are listed. I expect all 4 of those guys to play this season. So I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary there. 3 wide receivers listed on the 2 deep. Montana Lamonius Craig anticipated. Tetro McMillan, one of the best in the country. And Jeremiah Patterson, who really stood out in camp, the transfer from College of San Mateo, listed as the 3 starting wide receivers. Behind them on the 2 deep, Malachi Riley, who obviously had suffered was down for some injury time during camp. Devin Hyatt and Raymello Murphy are listed as the other wide receivers on the 2 deep. Now, the interesting thing on offense to me is the tight end. Well, let's go to the quarterback first. Noah Fifita, and Cole Tannenbaum is listed as this number 2 quarterback. Not a surprise there. I thought Cole Tannenbaum kind of was the guy that stood out amongst the rest of the quarterbacks in camp. Braden Dorman and the 2 transfers in from NAU and San Jose State. But Tannenbaum at 6'4", 201, right now penciled in as Noah Fifita's backup. The tight ends, they list 3. Keon Burnett, no surprise there. Keon's expected, we're all expecting him to have a breakout season. And I said last week, I thought the tight end room was probably as a competitive a battle as we saw at the running back position. There's a number of guys. I mean, I've seen 5 guys playing tight end that I thought you could put out there and they can probably get the job done. The question is going to come down to, can these guys block?
Just to remind listeners really quick, one of the first things that the coaching staff said coming in is that at San Jose State they had put a tight end on the all-conference team some odd consecutive number of years. So going in, before we even knew any kind of depth chart, that the tight ends, to the chagrin, a big smile on Glenn Howell's face, are going to be very featured in this offense.
So Keon Burnett is listed as the starter. Then the backups, or after that, are listed as Sam Olsen, is the transfer from San Jose State. Roberto Miranda, the senior who played a lot last year for U of A. Those are the 3 that are listed. The name that I'm surprised is not on here is the redshirt freshman Tyler Powell. Tyler Powell had been running a lot with the first team. Actually, he's a redshirt sophomore out of Phoenix Brophy Prep.
How do you become a redshirt sophomore with no stats to your name?
Right. Well, you can only redshirt once, and so after that, it just continues whether you stat or not. Your clock is going.
Sure.
So he's 3rd year. And redshirted 2 years ago, and then played. I don't even know if he got on the field much at all last year. He may have played a little bit, but like you said, no stats.
I didn't see any stats. Yeah, no counting stats. Yeah,
no stats. Well, pretty much nobody except for Tanner McLaughlin was catching the ball.
Good point.
Last year, and I don't remember seeing him making any tackles on special teams either. So, yeah, but that's the name missing on the depth chart that I'm a little surprised is Tyler Powell at tight end. So we'll kind of get an idea of what's going on with that and why he's not in there. Because, again, the Wildcats ran a lot of double tight end sets during camp, and he often was listed on that front, or at least on that running with the ones with Keon Burnett. So we'll be interested to kind of see what's going on with Tyler Powell. But right now, Sam Olsen and Roberto Miranda. And Sam Olsen is, again, I said last week, Sam Olsen is a senior who just finds a way to get open. I mean, it seemed like every time I saw him on the field, he was finding a way to get open, and the quarterbacks, no matter who they were getting him the ball, and he was making plays. So he's a veteran guy. He's been in this system, so no surprises there. All right, defensively, let's go over the defensive line now. Trey Smith, another transfer from San Jose State, listed as a defensive lineman. They kind of list these just as defensive linemen, but we kind of know, Smith primarily is an edge guy. He'll be on the edge along with Tai Uiagalelei and Sterling Lane. Sterling Lane kind of came on late in camp. He's another one out of that class of 2022 that came in with T-Mac and Jacob Manu and Noah, who kind of has maybe not had the success to this point that the others have, but really looks like he might be poised for a breakout year there on the edge. So good to see Sterling Lane kind of, being at the top of this depth chart as we head into this season. The guys on the inside, Isaiah Johnson and Chuba May. Chuba May listed as second team. That's a little surprising because he ran a lot with the ones, but you'll hear Brent Brennan say when you hear from him later in this hour that he feels like that's an underrated position, the defensive line, and what they've got down there. They've got Kevon Darton, who Kevon Darton was a guy that was in camp a little bit later. I think he missed the first few days. And so kind of working his way back in there, but a guy that's got a lot of experience. Does Kevon Darton, the transfer from Syracuse, he is a redshirt senior, fifth-year guy. So he's going to be in that mix along with Jarrett Anderson. He's a sophomore who kind of came on and showed late in camp. And then you've got one of the other young players out there as well. I know I'm going to mess this one up, and I don't know if his name is on this pronunciation guide, but Stanley Taufofo, something of that nature. We'll get that one. I'm going to have to get Jeff to add that name to this list because he's not on here.
Did you hear the sound when you said about Brennan's, pick for the underrated? That was the sound of all Arizona fans across Tucson Valley jumping up and down for joy, DK, because as far as pointing to one area of the field where the Arizona Wildcats traditionally have struggled, it's putting pressure on quarterbacks from the front, right? I mean, Desert Swarm days is the heyday of the Arizona defense from the line's perspective. A lot of great secondary players. But that's one thing, consistently getting pressure on that quarterback, DK, especially going to this new conference. It's going to be some high-powered offenses. Super important.
Yeah. Your two linebackers, no surprise, have been from day one. Jacob Manu, Tay Brown getting the will position there. Jared Small, another transfer who showed in camp as days went on, listed as the backup will. And then Justin Flo and Cam Kahue are the backup mics behind Jacob Manu. We'll see how much they use Flo and how they use Flo this season. Your star, which is kind of that slot corner / safety, Traden Stukes and Genesis Smith are both in that position. I expect Genesis to play a lot this season. Your corners, Takario Davis and Marquise Groves-Killebrew. No surprise there. Marquise Groves-Killebrew, right from the first practice, showed that he can be a talented cover guy, healthy for the first time in his career. The interesting thing of the backups and who those guys are going to be, Emmanuel Carnley is right now penciled in as the backup for Takario Davis. Demetrius Freeney and G7, Javion Celestine are listed as the backups for Marquise Groves-Killebrew. And then your safeties, Dalton Johnson and Gunnar Maldonado. Behind them, the two transfers, Owen Goss out of Colgate and Jack Luttrell out of Tennessee.
DK, famously, they didn't get their first pick, I think, till Game 7.
Yes.
Game 8. We talked quite a bit about that. You look at the record early, that's secondary and how much they improved throughout the course of the last season, but how many big plays they made down the stretch of last season were super vital to the record that Arizona had at the end there. Maybe everybody get on the same page early. They had some young guys. But, man, super impressed with that secondary last year.
And then the only other position of note is on special teams, Michael Salgado Medina, the freshman, will be the punter. So a new punter, obviously, for the Wildcats this season. So that's your depth chart. Any questions we want to talk about? Any thoughts on that? Really, like I said, the only surprising thing to me on this was that Tyler Powell at tight end is not listed here currently. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Joined by the third member of our team, Cricket. How was the weekend?
Hi, family. Good. Too short,
Too short as always.
How about you guys?
Yeah. So I went to a comedy show on Saturday night.
Did you sit in the front?
How'd that go?
I did sit in the second row, but I did not get picked on, which was a good thing.
Good.
The first rule of thumb is don't pick on me. Because I don't like to be the center of attention.
You wear all gray and you're just gonna keep your eye levels down. But if you wear like the big hat with the big feather in it. You're asking for.
But yeah, there was this guy. His name was Ari Spears, black comedian out of New York. I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever been to a black comedy show?
Yeah,
Either the two of
sure.
you. Yeah. So it's black comedy shows are a lot of sex, a lot of race, a lot of things that are politically incorrect, a lot of that, a lot of cursing. So, and there were like there was this couple that brought their 2 teenage sons to this comedy show. It's like a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old. And it's funny because he went right in on them. He was calling them, you remember you probably don't remember this, but there was a show on Nickelodeon called Zack and Cody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he immediately nicknamed them Zack and Cody and went in on them all night long. So every time he would say something raunchy, he would look over and say, Zack and Cody, y'all okay with that?
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so, I mean, funny guy. It was the first time I've had a chance to see him. But, yeah, we didn't get picked on. He picked on a lot of the couple because, again, a lot of sex. So he picked on a lot of the couples.
Sure.
In the audience, and he went. I mean, he picked out every if there was any type of, interracial couples, like if there was black white, if it was Asian white. I mean, he was all in on the couples and that kind of thing.
I think you get picked if you're going to be squirmy. Like the more awkward it will be for the audience member.
Oh, yeah.
That's where a lot of the comedians will always choose like the most awkward interaction possible. Because guess what? Those are pros. As far as like that. You know, people have confrontation. They want to shy away as much as possible. Not stand-up comedians. Stand-up comedians embrace the confrontation. They're looking for it. So.
And it was funny because he was like, we walked in and we sat down, and I went with Glenn Howe, and Glenn's like, oh yeah, he's right over there. He came out and he was standing in the doorway, just kind of like perusing the crowd, like he's like, okay, who am I gonna pick out? Do I gotta see who's here tonight? Like who am I going in on tonight, man? But yeah, those 2 teenagers, that was hilarious. I mean, he's like asking them like, oh, do you have a girlfriend yet? And it's like, it was funny.
He was in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, he's Ari Spears. If you get a chance to go out and see Ari, do you like comedy, Cricket? Do you like going to comedy shows?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been.
Who's the best? Who's the anybody that funny that you or any famous person you ever seen live?
I saw Sam Kinison.
Oh, wow.
That was like the first radio contest I won, and I was probably too young to be there at that.
Yeah.
You know?
He was pretty blue. Like, he definitely would do the same thing.
Yeah.
See some risque type characters.
Exactly.
You guys like Matt Rife, by the way?
Oh, Matt Rife. He's hilarious.
I like him a lot. I'd like to see him.
He's fun. I would definitely go see Matt Rife. He's the ladies love Matt Rife. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and the weather. We'll hear from Brett Brennan coming up next.
All right, from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Some backups on Ajo Way westbound approaching Mission Road. That ongoing widening work continues on Grant Road, and some slowdowns east of Country Club. Also a heads up that Dodge Boulevard south of Grant Road is closed probably until about mid-September. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain, and it is 100 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Big O Tires has the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through August 27th, buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock brand tires with installation purchase. See store for details or visit BigOTires.com. This sale is for a limited time and it's only at Big O Tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hey Tucson, tune in each weekday from noon to 3 p.m. for The Rich Eisen Show, right here on the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics.
Walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th inning. Does it get sweeter than that?
Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners, but you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
To
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zelty is introducing Zelty Hardies, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardies, a new way to treat ED, today. Text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Patriots and Commanders wrapped up the 2024 NFL preseason Sunday night. Patriots starting quarterback Jacoby Brissett injured his right shoulder on the team's first possession and did not return. Rookie quarterback Drake May took over and completed 13 of 20 passes for 126 yards and a touchdown against Washington. Elsewhere, the Dolphins cut veteran quarterback Mike White. Cardinals quarterback Desmond Ridder in concussion protocol after suffering a head injury Sunday against the Broncos. Ridder is competing with quarterback Clayton Tune to back up Kyler Murray. Meanwhile, NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reporting Bengals wideout Jamar Chase practiced Sunday for the first time in training camp. Chase is still looking for a long-term contract that will make him one of the league's highest-paid wideouts. And some sad news. Baltimore Ravens offensive line coach Joe Delisandres passed away Sunday after a short illness. He was 70 years old. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids Chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids Chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Now, we just went over the depth chart for you for Arizona football. We did not get them. Sometimes during week 1, we'll get the depth chart at the press conference. These press conferences, though, are a little bit earlier than they have been in the past with the different coaching staffs. I mean, there's times when they didn't have these till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think one year they was as late as 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But Brent Brenning's press conference are going to generally be in the 11 o'clock hour, 11:15 in that neighborhood if you're going to be wanting to listen to those right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. So we did not get the depth chart in time to ask Brent about any of this. So that is not included in the remarks that you're going to hear here. But nonetheless, Brent Brennan is extremely excited for this upcoming season opener on Saturday.
There were a lot of upsets or near upsets in week 0. Is that something that you can use as a talking point or teaching point for your team?
Yeah, it's definitely something we've talked about. You know, I think, every game's a different game, and it's all about how you prepare and, what your mindset is going into it, And so I don't know why those things happened the way they did on Saturday, but credit to those teams that, either press those teams to the edge or in the case of Georgia Tech, found a way to get it done.
Justin and Matt, just what are your impressions of New Mexico after watching them?
They look like they play hard. Obviously, I think definitely creative defensively, and then offensively they've got some weapons, right? I think if I watch that game, I think I feel like they're one catch away from it being over. You know what I mean? I was really impressed on both sides of the ball. I know Bronco's been a really good coach for a really long time, so the team, they're going to be ready to play. And they have the advantage of having played a game, where we haven't, so it's a little bit different.
And then what's T-Mac status this
You
week?
get 2 questions? I thought we said 1 question. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
T-Mac status?
T-Mac's going to play. Come on. The triple question. And, sorry, I'm just messing with you. All right, what we got?
Brent, for you personally, 7 months ago you were on this stage, being introduced as Arizona's head coach. I know you're a process guy, but being here in game week, how's it feel being real?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's funny, I had that thought walking out here just now, just like how much has changed in 7 months. But I think it's surreal, but it's also really, really special. And I'm excited, just like our players are.
Jason and then Jenna.
Now that the first game is past, do you like the fact that you saw and have some film of New Mexico, or is it kind of a double-edged?
No, I think it's a good thing. I definitely, I think for that's how you would look at it, right? Like they had the benefit of actually playing a really tough 4-quarter game, which I think there's benefits to that, and then we have the benefit of having some tape on them. So I'm sure they see it the same way. I would assume they do.
Jenna and then David.
What is your message to the team this week as they prepare for New Mexico, and what are your expectations for them?
My message to the team is it's all about us. It's about our process and how we prepare. It's very, very simple. It's boring and it's not sexy, but it's all about just the detail of our process and our preparation. I think that part is. I think that sometimes gets lost with the exposure, the media, friends, family, fans, all that stuff. But it's always that. It's about us and this football team and how we go about our business this week, preparing for this game, and then, how we show up on Saturday. And my expectations are for us to play well. And that'll be my expectations every week.
David and Brian.
Brent, you mentioned last week the coal pool as being kind of one of the advantages that's nice about being at a school like University of Arizona. What are some of the other things that have been in place here that you look back and say, man, if we'd have had that at San Jose State, we'd love to have been having those types of advantages?
Well, I think everybody has contributed greatly to having this amazing facility here. And it wasn't until our last season that we actually had that really nice football building. I think that has a chance to impact recruiting. It impacts your teaching environment, your learning environment. It impacts your recovery, your training room, your weight room, all those things. So I think we're definitely fortunate to have what we have here, and I think the guys do a good job of respecting it.
Ryan and then Michael. How much of your overall playbook do you think you're going to be able to use this first game, or do you want to save stuff for later on?
All I want to do is win. And so whatever we need to call to find a way to play good football and give ourselves a chance to win is what I want to do.
I have 2 questions, just so you're
Now it's a thing.
The first one is, what, if anything, in your experience is unique or different about the season opener?
Everyone's different. You know what I mean? I've played in season openers where we were favored, where we were massive underdogs, where it was even. I played against teams that people thought we shouldn't beat. I played against teams that people thought we should beat. They're all different.
The other one was, what stat or stats do you value the most that you feel like have the biggest impact on winning or losing?
I think there's a lot of, especially now with all the information and data you get or you have access to, but I think the simplest ones would be turnover margin, third down, and red zone. Is just, places to start for that.
Ryan and Jenna. Had you ever been dunked in a dunk tank before?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. I'm always up for that stuff. That was a really nice thing. I thought it was great to get all the student athletes together, to get them all together with all of our coaches and support staff and administration. It was a really well-run event. The staff, everyone that put it together did a great job, and the dunk tank was kind of fun. I was up there for a while. I think somebody gassed our boss Desiree on the first pitch. It was, I got to watch people miss for 20 throws. She got knocked in there in the first one, so it was great. It was a cool environment, great to get all student athletes together. I think kind of on your question, one of the really awesome things about University of Arizona is that our athletes eat breakfast together. And so to your question, we weren't able to do that at my previous institution. And I think there's real value in that because they do care about each other and they do support each other. And so then that way, when you have an event like you had yesterday, it's actually meaningful. And a lot of the student athletes hadn't seen each other since summer. And so it was a great kind of, hey, the semester's starting, let's kick this thing off. It was really cool.
Jenna and Jason.
Is there something, a tradition or something about the game day atmosphere that you're most looking forward to about Saturday?
Oh, that's a good question. I think college football is the best sport in the country. I think it's magical, and there's all the things that go into it, from the tailgating to the Wildcat Walk to the band and the cheerleaders and the pom-pom and the flag group, the students, the Zona Zoo, all those things make it absolutely awesome. And I know there's lots of people that like watching games in the comfort of their home, but there's nothing like the smell of walking into a stadium on game day and what that feels like and feeling that energy and being a part of the experience. It's one of the most special things that happens across our country all Saturdays during the fall.
Jason and Justin.
I also have 2 questions. First off, you got to tinker a little bit with communication. How do you feel about that going into the game, and have you decided what defensive player will have the headset and all that?
It's still under. But that's not a surprise because everyone's going to know because they're going to have a green dot on the back of their helmet, right? So, but the communication's been good. We were able to practice it a bunch. I think the tablets are going to be a useful tool for everybody. I'm just watching the games this weekend. You see how often everybody is utilizing it on the sideline. I think, watching bits and pieces of the SMU game, every time I saw Rhett, he had a tablet in front of him. He was holding a tablet and scrolling through. I think the big thing that everybody needs to remember is that no matter what happens in the game, you cannot show the tablet to an official. That's a big one. That's a bad one. So just want to make sure everybody on my staff knows that. Like, under no circumstances are we doing that.
And then I had asked you this last week, and just wanted to follow up. Have you decided what coaches will be in the box and what coaches will be on the field with you?
Yes.
What kind of impact has Brandon Sanders had on the program and his role?
Brandon Sanders is great. I was on a Zoom with him last night with all the football letter winners that he does. Every 3 months, every month, and he's just trying to keep those guys informed and updated. He's also just a great job with the kind of the high school relations and that part of it. Him having been a coach here in the state of Arizona, I think there's value in that. Also, the fact that he was such a great player here. I just love the fact that we have so many guys around the program that played here at the U of A. I think there's real value in that, in their experience and their knowledge of the place, and having Brandon being kind of forward-facing with our football alumni, and then also with the high school coaches. I think it's been really valuable for us. He's doing a great job.
Last question is Saul.
Obviously, there's a lot of top-tier running backs in this conference, and you've been asked this multiple times before, but how do you feel about the defensive line going into game number 1 now?
I think that's going to be one of the nice surprises of this football team. I think there's a lot of talent there. We've got a good mix of some speed and some edge presence with some physicality interior, and so it's going to be a lot of fun to see what that looks like when we start playing.
All right, that's our time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Brent Brennan, today meeting with the media earlier in the day. He will also meet with the media on Thursdays. We'll have offensive players on Tuesdays and defensive players on Wednesdays. So they're giving each side of the ball their own day to chat. Last year we had kind of a combination. You'd get an offense and defensive player on the same day along with the coordinators, but this year offense and defense will go on separate days. So 4 days of football press conferences every week. Going to be exciting with this new era for Brent Brennan. We'll dive into a few of the things that he said a little bit later as well in the show. Much more coming up for you if you want to get in. If you heard something that interested you, what did you think about what he said there about getting dunked in the dunk tank? They did the picnic, the welcome back picnic, a day earlier than normal. That's always, everything's changing. It's like change this year. We were talking about No Bear Down Friday early in the show. Normally, the Welcome Back Barbecue is on Monday, the first day of school, which was today. This year, they had it on Sunday, which probably is a better idea because nobody has to work. All the kids are not having to go to school, and you can just have a nice barbecue, and everybody can have a good time. So
yeah, there's that afternoon barbecue nap.
Yeah.
You got to factor that in, too. So having it on the first day, Monday of school, probably not the best idea.
No. So that got moved. They had a dunk tank there, and as you heard the coach say, nobody could seem to get the ball on him when he got up there, but they apparently
what's up with that?
They apparently dunked Desiree Reed-Francois
on the first toss.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away. You'll hear from Desiree Reed-Francois coming up a little bit later in the show. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives, though, with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With roadwork at Country Club in Glen, it's waterline work southbound Country Club approaching Glen down to 1 lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. And I'm Cricket and your weather. There's a 25% chance of rain tomorrow, and it is 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Mountain West favorite should roll in Week 1. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Boise State is a favorite to win the Mountain West Conference, and in Week 1, they travel to Georgia Southern. The BetQL model is laying it with the Broncos as double-digit road favorites. BetQL has Boise State minus 13 as a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Have you tried Cup Bop yet? If not, you need to go try it. It's everyone's favorite Korean spot. It's super fast, simple, and delicious. Each bowl is served with rice, Cup Bop's signature cabbage mix, noodles, and then you pick your protein. Choose from Korean barbecue chicken, Korean barbecue pork, Korean barbecue beef, deep fried chicken, tangy fried chicken, tofu, or veggies. Then you pick how spicy you want it, with 10 different signature sauce options ranging from all sweet to nothing but heat. Are you drooling yet? You heard it here first. Cup Bop Korean Barbecue in a Cup now has 3 locations in Tucson. The Landings, located at I-19 in Irvington, Crossroads Festival at Grant and Swan, and The Ridges, located at Keno Parkway and I-10. You have to experience the amazing flavors. Visit cupbop.com to learn more.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you from Cup Bop. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibration so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh. Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcats football team with their first home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on New Mexico. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:30 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to KHID1075.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. Drake May has outperformed Jacoby Brissett recently, and that's exactly what the 3rd overall pick of the draft should be doing. However, as long as Jacoby Brissett is healthy, I think Pats coach Gerard Mayo is going to start the veteran signal caller over the rookie, because even though May looks ready to play, clearly the Pats offensive line is not. I'm Zach Gelb.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Don't forget, we are going to be out at Bear Down Fridays this season and this first Friday for the celebration, although it's not going to be the type of celebration that it's been in the past, and we'll repeat again if you weren't with us early in the show. But we're still calling it Bear Down Fridays, and we're still going to be there from 3 to 6 at Illegal Peaks on University Boulevard. So come on down and see us. We'll have tickets to the game. If you don't have tickets to the game this Saturday, you can come down and get tickets from us. But don't forget, we don't just give away our tickets. You got to know your Arizona football history just a little bit. We'll be throwing out a question to you if you come on down, and you got to be able to answer the question to get your hands on those tickets. So come on down. Again, Illegal Pete's this Friday for Bear Down Fridays. Wildcats Radio 1290, sponsored by Corona for the fans of Fine Life and the official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Looking forward to getting back out there and seeing the people getting excited for game day on Saturday. And don't forget as well, we'll be out on the mall Saturday for the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show. Our coverage, I said I was going to look that up because I wanted to make sure that I had my times right on this, because the first two games start at different times. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you the correct times. So this week's game is a 7:30 kickoff. So I had it backwards. I thought this week was at 7. Next week was at 7:30. This week is at 7:30. So we will be on the mall at 3. 3 o'clock will be our coverage start time with the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day show this weekend, and then 2:30 next Saturday for the game against Northern Arizona. So we'll have you from 3 until 6. Network pregame with Brody Dryden and Kyle Quinn will take over at 6 o'clock, right up until kickoff at 7:30 with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries and Lamont Lovett. And I understand we're going to have a new sideline person this year. We don't know yet who that is. I've not been told, but we look forward to meeting that person and telling you all about that person as well. And we'll have them on our show and get to know them a little bit as well. And as we move forward now with season number 1 for Brent Brennan. Looking forward to all of that. Want to get into, we went over the depth chart with you. I just wanted to kind of finish on a few of the special teams because there is going to be some major changes on special teams as well. Obviously, Tyler Loop is the place kicker, one of the best in the country. And we already saw the first game of the season end on a late kick. Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland, upsetting Florida State on Saturday. That was a really good ball game. Came down the stretch, and I think I tweeted this out on Saturday. We already had our first teaching moment of the season, and it involved Florida State not being able to recover a fumble. They had a ball get out of Georgia Tech was on offense. The ball's on the ground, and Florida State had a chance to just fall on it and get possession back. But instead, what did they do? One of their defenders tried to pick the ball up and could not scoop it up. And as a result, Georgia Tech retained possession because they recovered the fumble. It was in, they were kind of, I think, around the 30-40, Florida State's 30-40 yard line at the time. So they were able to retain possession. What do? They go in and they score to take the lead at the time. They went up 21-14. Now, Florida State was able to go down and score to tie the game, but they end up losing 24-21 on a last-second field goal. Just fall on the football. Just fall on the football. That's all you got to do in that situation. Possession of the football is so important. So important. You just want your team to have possession of the football. And when the ball's on the ground, the last thing you want to try to do, because, again, it's a little oblong kind of thing that takes different weird hops, is try to pick it up. Now, if you get a bounce, that's one thing. If the guy fumbles and the ball's bouncing around and you get the bounce, that's one thing. But if it's actually on the ground, just fall on it. Let your team go back on offense. Florida State not making that decision, making a mental mistake in that situation, cost their team 7 points in a game they ended up losing. And now, again, they're the number 10 team in the country. So the first upset, the first game of the season resulted in the first upset of the season. And now you're playing from, I didn't see if the new rankings came out today or not. I'm sure they probably did. We'll get those to you. But now you're playing, trying to get back what you should have had in Ireland next week against Boston College.
I'm not so sure about the NDK, but what I really want to know is what you thought about the start. Did you see the start of that game?
Well, I saw that Florida State pretty much went down right off.
So Florida State
right
goes
away
down in about 4
scored,
minutes.
yeah.
Big play, big play, big play, big play. They score. They line up for the extra point with all their linemen on the left of the hash, left of the left hash. So they had this crazy formation. This is 4 minutes into the college football season. The guy had to hike the ball about 20 yards away offline to the left to a guy who ran behind a tackle, in essence, and scored the 2-point conversion.
Wow.
But the idea of, I don't know if, I'm not sure how many people out there believe in the karma or that whole thing, DK, but like the way they started the season, the Seminoles, scoring with ease 4 minutes in, and the gravitas to just like throw out this crazy formation and go for 2 4 minutes into the college football season. They obviously lost the ball on downs the next time down. That's not, they're going to take some risks, I think, down there. And I just, that first formation for the extra point, I was scratching my head. Like, can't we just have a normal extra point attempt here for the first touchdown of the college football season? But no, that's not the era we live in.
No, not at all. And so I don't think we get, because it was week 0, we don't get new rankings until next week. So because it appears nothing new has come out today. So Florida State is still ranked 10th. Despite their loss. And that's not only do they lose in their rank, but that's a conference game. That's, you got to play conference game right off the bat. They got 2 conference games right off the bat. I don't know how they do the scheduling down there in ACC country. We're used to having, 3 non-conference games before you get into conference, but they got to play Georgia Tech and Boston College right off the bat, 2 ACC games to start the season in weeks 0 and 1. And so they'll try to, and I think that's a Monday night game against Boston College on Labor Day. So they'll have to bounce back and see if they can get right.
19 consecutive regular season games is what Florida State had won going into that one.
Really?
Yeah, they lost their bowl game last year to Georgia, but they went undefeated. Remember, they went undefeated in the regular season last year before did they lose their quarterback? Week 8 or week 9, something like that. But they won every single game during last season, and they won their last 6 going into their bowl game that they won versus Oklahoma in 2022. So that's a 19-game regular season win streak that just got snapped in that week 1 loss.
We'll see. I mean, again, that's the beauty of it. And we talked about New Mexico. New Mexico was up 17 points going into the fourth quarter. And an FCS team, one of the better FCS teams, not just any FCS team. I mean, Montana State is about as good as they come at that level, the old 1AA, rolls off 3 straight touchdowns to steal that game in Albuquerque, 35-31. So New Mexico coming in here with a loss. Thought it was interesting going back to one of the things that Brent Brennan said when he was asked about what are some of the stats that he feels are important. One of them is turnover margin, which is why falling on the football when you have an opportunity, securing possession for your team is so critical. Turnover margin is one. You got to be great in the red zone. And that's one of the things that Arizona has struggled with. They got much better at red zone last year. You got to be able to score the ball in the red zone. No question about that. You've got to be able to score the ball in the red zone.
Do you want to bring back what Coach Brand had to say?
Let the folks hear it again.
I mean, I think there's a lot of, especially now with all the information and data you get or you have access to, but I think the simplest ones would be turnover margin, third down, and red zone is places to start for that.
To me, DK, this week 1 of the season, you've clearly got a lot of 19 to 23-year-olds who are raring to go, full of adrenaline. Getting people up for game 1 of the college football season, generally not a difficult thing to do. But it's really cutting down on those unforced mistakes, those mental errors. You just mentioned it with Florida State there, not falling on the ball. Just make sure you avoid any kind of early season, lapses, because everybody, of course, are going to be so up. They're going to be so ready to go week 1 of the college football season. So just play smart, stick to your assignments, get the job done.
All right, I've got a sweet deal for you. You want to hear about that? This Friday, we got a sweet deal from Cup Bop, Korean barbecue in a cup. Cup Bop. Sounds like that radio station, Kids Bop. Remember Kids Bop, Mom? She was one of the first Karens that emerged on the scene back in the day.
I remember Bop, but that was just because you couldn't avoid it, not because I was seeking it out.
Bop, doo-wop. Yeah. Cup Bop. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. This is a sweet deal. Goes on sale Friday morning, 8:30 a.m. right here at WildcatsRadio1290.com. Let me tell you a little bit about Cup Bop. It's super fast, simple, and delicious. Each bowl is served with rice, Cup Bop's signature cabbage mix, noodles. Then you pick your protein. You can choose from Korean barbecue chicken, Korean barbecue pork, Korean barbecue beef, deep fried chicken, tangy fried chicken, tofu, or veggies. Then pick how spicy you want it with 10 different signature sauce options, ranging from all sweet to nothing but heat. Cup Bop Korean barbecue in a cup. There's 3 locations right now in Tucson. The first one is The Landings, located at 4764 South Landing Way. Crossroads Festival Mall, located at 4811 East Grant Road. And The Bridges, located at 3470 South Keno Parkway, Suite 100. Don't miss this deal. Mandu Bop Monday, featuring the Mandu Bop Bowl every Monday for $8.95. Limited time on that. Family meal deals starting at $38.95 for 4 Cup Bop bowls and a 12-piece of Mandu. And Mandu is Cup Bop's deep-fried pot stickers. So there you go. Visit cupbop.com to learn more. It's a sweet deal this Friday, 8:30 a.m., WildcatsRadio1290.com. $50 gift certificate for just $25 to Cup Bop Korean barbecue in a cup.
Love me some pot stickers. Didn't you get pot stickers the first time we met?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yep, I think I did. I usually get pots. I might get pot stickers tonight because I'm going out to eat. Who knows? All right, DK on the Sports Tip. We got another hour coming up. We're going to hear Desiree Reed-Francois in the 5 o'clock hour, your Desert Diamond Casino replay, as well as a whole lot more. We'd like to hear from you. 520-848-1290. JW Madden is here. Cricket is here. My name is David Kelly. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Crash reported at Speedway and Craycroft and Speedway Boulevard, and some backups. We've got some slowdowns on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way, also on westbound Ajo approaching Mission. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain, and it is about 99 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Big O Tires has the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through August 27th, buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock brand tires with installation purchase. See store for details or visit BigOTires.com. This sale is for a limited time, and it's only at Big O Tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
If you own more than 5 Arizona Wildcats hoodies, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The heat is here. Unfortunately, as some of you turn on your AC, you'll find nothing happens. It makes weird noises or just blows hot air. We hope it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, don't panic. Call Rightway and we'll get an expert out to your home.
If your AC is in need of repairs, book today and save 15%. Call or text 520-385-7173 or visit rightwayac.com. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zeldy is introducing Zeldy Hardies, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardies, a new way to treat ED, today. Text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
Get ready, Wildcats fans. We're bringing you the excitement as we kick off a new era in the Big 12. Tune in Saturday, August 31st as the Cats take on New Mexico. Kickoffs at 7:30, pregames at 3. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona baseball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the program on this Monday, game week, first day of school at the University of Arizona. Campus a-bustling. As we were over there for the Brent Brennan press conference, you got to kind of have your head on a swivel when you're driving around campus. You don't want to run anybody over. I mean, you know, because kids don't stop. They just keep walking. And they cross these streets.
They also don't know where they're going.
Hey, there's no such thing as stopping. Oh, there's a car waiting. I'll just stop and let that car turn. No, they'll just keep coming. Keep coming. Gotta love it, though. It is that time of year, again, when the Wildcats return. And I guess it's, I didn't know this until like a few years ago, because I don't think we had this when I was in school. We might have, but I don't ever remember it going by the term syllabus week, which is what they call this first week of school. It's been dumbed down to silly week by the youngsters, and I guess basically you just kind of go to class and there's not much actual instruction this week. They just kind of go over the syllabus. But I guess if you have, like, I had classes 3 days a week, so I can't imagine they're going over the syllabus for all 3 days this week if you got the same class on Monday or the Wednesday and Friday that you had on Monday. But who am I to say what goes on in terms of that right now? But we never termed it. Do you remember that term, J-Dub, silly week or syllabus week? That was something I had just heard a few years ago here in terms of how college students look at the first week of school.
When I was in college, the first week was orientation and suckers signing up for credit card week.
Well, yeah,
because there was
absolutely,
a lot of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Responsible people with their money are not suckers, but those who are not responsible with their money as an 18-year-old, that's how a lot of friends of mine and people I know.
I remember
there was a lot of predatory, come get this thing, do this thing, and when you're 18 and you're living in a cramped dorm or whatever, and you'd like to have some amenities, that seemed like a great idea. But that was my memory of the orientation week.
I wonder if they still sign kids up for American Express cards. Does American Express even exist anymore?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That was the thing. Like that was the one that got me. I mean, you sign up for this American Express card and you're like, oh yeah, well, that's easy. Yeah, you'll get it for sure. I don't have any credit. Don't worry about it. You don't need credit. This is your credit. You're going to establish credit. But what they didn't tell you about American Express was you had to pay the entire amount at the end of every month. It wasn't like other credit cards where you could pay like $30 or whatever not. No, if you spent $300 on American Express, you had to pay that $300 at the end of the month. And somehow that got lost in the translation. When I was signing up for my American Express card, I quickly found out, like, oh, okay, I see how this works with this particular card here. So I promptly had to get that paid off and had to, like, not ever use that unless it was an absolute emergency.
I understand the concept of, like, silly week and fun week and all that stuff, though. I do, because, the gravity of leaving home, if you're talking especially about freshmen, you're coming to a city that you maybe have visited once or twice but aren't super familiar with, meeting a bunch of new people you've never met before. A month into school, it all seems silly. But there's a lot of anxiety going on right now for new people who have never been to Tucson, never been to campus before. So keeping it light and making sure that everybody focuses on, having fun, getting to know the campus in a silly way. I definitely appreciate that concept for sure.
They have fun for sure. I think there's parties every night.
Well, that's
if there weren't parties every night last week, there's parties every night this week.
Yeah, nothing's changed as far as I'm concerned since the 1960s. I think it's always been like that.
It was funny because I love to tell this story about my orientation week, which would have been last week for all the kids that are coming in, my freshman orientation week. So literally all we did that week was party. Like all we did that week. And it got to the point where I remember calling my mom and saying, Mom, I don't know if any of these kids are actually going to be able to go to class because all they do is drink. It was hilarious. But then Monday came and it was like the light went on. It was like the party lights went off and the education lights went on. And everybody got up at 7 o'clock Monday morning and went to class.
It's funny. It's like one of the skills that students learn more than anything is how to test while hungover. And I don't know that that's something that applies to your professional career once you leave college. Maybe those, Sunday nights the night before Monday aren't quite as crazy as they were in college. But certainly I've known a lot of people that maybe had struggled for the first couple, but that's a skill you develop over time.
Yeah.
Is if your buddy's having, some kind of big rager the night before, you don't want to miss. If you lose track of time and stay up a little bit too late and got to get in there at 7:30 for a test, you'll figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. Don't take my advice. Don't take 8 o'clock classes. Get to, start your day later. Sleep in. Especially if you don't like to get up in the morning. This is college now. You don't have to get up in the morning if you don't want to take an 8 o'clock class or a 9 o'clock class. You've got
high school where it's like a standard time. Yep. Until you're maybe a senior and you can maybe structure your schedule to not have a class first thing as a senior in high school. You can do that.
Yeah.
But as far as most of those 4 years of high school, DK, you're on their time.
Exactly.
So once you get to college and you can figure out your own schedule, I'm sure most freshmen do their best to do a 10 a.m. so they can sleep in a little bit.
Sleep in a little bit. Don't get up too early. But yeah, I'd love to hear your silly week memories. 520-848-1290 if you have any memories of silly week, syllabus week that you want to share on the program today. Would love to hear that for sure. All right, it is week 2. It's week 1 for Arizona. It's coming up week 2 of the high school football season because they don't do week 0, but it'll be the first games for all the big schools this week. Had an awesome time despite the fact we had to dodge some weather, which is no shocker. We had to dodge some weather out at Sabino High School on Friday night. But had a great time out there with the kids at Sabino. Talked to a lot. I mean, I think last week, that might be we did a lot of those shows last year, but I don't know if we did it to the extent that we did the last 2 days at Marana and Sabina and the number of kids we talked to. We had to have talked to at least 20 kids total.
It was nonstop
between those two schools. The media day out at Marana last Thursday and Sabino on Friday.
I was here the whole time,
Yeah.
so I didn't get a chance to look at any of these student athletes, should I say. I didn't get a chance to meet them, but sitting back here, DK, every single person that you had on the air was eloquent,
Yeah.
was well-spoken, and had their thoughts together, and all had some funny things to say, and it was just nonstop from 3 p.m. all the way through 5:59 p.m., all of those students, and kudos to the athletic directors and the principals and
Yeah.
everybody who organized those things because it really went off really well without a hitch.
Really impressed.
Outside of weather.
Exactly. Really impressed with all of those youngsters from Marana and Sabino. We are still getting all of that stuff up on our website. So I think I've gotten most of the stuff from Marana. So if you want to hear some of the interviews from Marana, head on over to our website, Wildcats Radio 1290. Don't forget to download our app because everything is on our app as well. Our app slaps. Send me a text app to 520-848-1290, and I'll send you a link. You can download our app. You're going to want to have our app for Arizona football this year as well. For the coaches show tonight, we'll have all of that stuff on our app. So definitely make sure that you have the app because you'll want to be able to listen to everything, read all of our stories. If you missed out on what, again, happened with the Diamondbacks this weekend and how hot Gino Suarez was, you can go to our app and you can read about that. If you missed out yesterday, the Arizona soccer team was on the road. They had a pretty impressive game against the number 5 team in the country. Do we have any highlights from that, Shayna?
We sure do. We have a couple of big saves.
Yeah, let's. Because again, it was this was the number 5 team in the country in North Carolina. 21 national championships that they have won, and so it was going to be a test. And the Wildcats held them 0-0 for 70. A lot of that had to do with the young lady that was playing in the goal, Olivia Ramey, the transfer.
Go chance here, and a huge save. Off her line comes Olivia Ramey to keep this game at 0-0. Huge from Ramey there.
Well, I thought the opportunity kind of went away. This is how they get the transition attack. It's Bella Simber coming back, dispossesses Shelf. It comes out here. Look at the combination play between Olmark and Simber, and what a big-time save from Ramey.
Arian Nagai, Princeton transfer, graduate student, 5th year, shooting opportunity. Great hit and another great save. So Olivia Ramey right now has produced 2 stellar saves here in the last couple of minutes here to keep this level.
Olivia Ramey finished with 9 saves in that game. Now, North Carolina, one of the best teams in the country, they had 24 shots on goal to Arizona's 3. So they dominated. We talk about possession. Arizona wanting to be a possession team, but you face a team like North Carolina, and they're going to dominate the possession, which they did. I didn't see the final possession numbers in that game, but, just 24-3. They outshot. I think they were 14-1 in corner kicks in favor of North Carolina. And Olivia Ramey, and a friend of mine went to the game who lives in Chapel Hill, and he was like, your goalie. He texted me. He's like, your goalie was amazing. I mean, they peppered her to death, and she was stopping everything for that first 75 minutes. But again, when you face a team like North Carolina, they're going to get you in the end.
They will if they have a perfect shot, DK.
Yes.
Ball comes into the near post, headed away there by Ayemi. And that shot, and there's that first goal. Finally, North Carolina has scored. It's a long-range hit. And the Tar Heels have taken a 1-0 lead here. And it had to be something special on this day, and it is. It's Tessa De La Rose.
It was going to take something almost pinpoint perfect, and De La Rose is the one that delivers in this moment. It comes off a corner kick and a clearance, and it is from a deeper position with the left foot just up and over, and you can see the dip on it. I don't know if Ramey's vision was impaired there, but this is a great strike. Trying to bend it to the back post, it goes up and over.
It was kind of like that goal that Nicole Dallin scored on opening night, where she just hit it from distance, and similar to the one Trinity Dorsey had in the win over NAU last Thursday night as well. She kind of had one where it kind of bounced out outside the box, and she just lasered it to the back top of the net. I mean, you have to be 8 feet, 10 feet tall to try to stop one of those. But again, Olivia Ramey, a tremendous job. 9 saves. They got 2 goals in the final 15 minutes, did North Carolina, to win it 2-0 and hand the Wildcats their first loss of the year.
This part right here, DK, you talk about Ramey's, stops, but the defense, we talked quite a bit about how the defense has been very impactful so far this year. And if you listen to this call one more time.
And it had to be something special on this day, and it is.
So both of those announcers, DK, were saying, like, the only way you're going to score on Arizona, and we're talking about against, again, the best soccer program in the sport's history, 21 NCAA titles, and they were very aggressive. I saw quite a bit of that game, and UNC was super aggressive at getting the ball at the goal. But again, you had to have a perfect, and that just shows you how well Arizona's defense is playing in Ramey in goal.
There you go. So they're home. The road trip continues. They're probably back home. They came home, but they'll go right back out on the road on Wednesday and play at Pepperdine in Malibu on Thursday afternoon for the now 3-1 Arizona Wildcats. 520-848-1290. If you saw yesterday's game, I didn't get a chance to see it. I don't have the ACC network. So I'm wondering if I get the ESPN Plus, I can get probably the ACC network, because that's ESPN. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to see the match. But if you did, you got some thoughts on it, we'll take those calls. 520-848-1290. What did you think of the Wildcats' performance in Chapel Hill? Beautiful facility. I guess when you win 21 national championships, you're going to have a pretty nice facility. I saw seats on top, like high-level seats and stuff that they had there in North Carolina. I've been there. I lived in North Carolina for a year and a half on the coast, and had a chance to go to a North Carolina football game, and we walked the campus that day. It's a very beautiful campus, the University of North Carolina, for sure, and their facilities as well are all top notch.
Yeah, my dad, like I said many times, he was a professor there for 12 years, something like that. My sister's first words were "beat Duke," because her grandpa bounced her on her knee.
Right.
Back when he was a Tar Heel professor. So yeah, he's never had anything bad to say about that campus. They always do a great job.
All right, we will have our Today in Women's Sports coming up for you here, as well as we'll hear from Desiree Reed-Francois shortly on just her thoughts and hopes for this first year of her athletic directorship at the University of Arizona. 520-848-1290. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With a collision that's clearing at Speedway and Craycroft and Speedway Boulevard, and road work downtown along Stone Avenue between Alameda Street and Pennington should be complete in about the middle of next month. And weather-wise, 25% chance of rain tomorrow, and it's 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Labor Day weekend savings are here at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Sports fans in Tucson can't survive without 1290. In the fall, we bring you Arizona football, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Then 1290 brings you Arizona men's basketball. And in the spring, Arizona baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibration so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh. Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
TFCU Gives supports local organizations who help those in need. We take pride in giving back and believe that we are stronger when we all pitch in to help one another. Sister Jose Women's Center is dedicated to uplifting all women in our community by providing a welcoming and safe environment for women experiencing homelessness. TFCU invites you to join us in partnering with Sister Jose Women's Center. Learn more about Sister Jose at www.sisterjose.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zeldy is introducing Zeldy Hardy's, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardy's, a new way to treat ED, today. Text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McHale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Men's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Two huge games in the WNBA Saturday. Let's start with the matchup between the top squads in the league. The Connecticut Sun grabbed an important road victory over the New York Liberty by a score of 72-64. Connecticut was led by the recently acquired Marina Mabrey. She scored 15 points off the bench. Saturday's victory was a statement for the Sun since they had lost their 3 previous matchups to the first-place Liberty earlier this season. With the win, Connecticut clinched a spot in the playoffs, and they also ended New York's 8-game winning streak. The Minnesota Lynx also clinched a postseason berth with a 10-point home victory over the Indiana Fever. Olympic gold medalist Naphisha Collier starred for Minnesota, scoring 31 points as her squad won their 6th straight game. Caitlin Clark led Indiana with 23 points in the loss. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive, of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us at that number. Earlier in the show, you heard from Tony Daniel, who is kind of overseeing fan engagement for the University of Arizona now. He's a member of Desiree Reed-Francois' team, came over with her from the University of Missouri, the Tigers, where that's kind of what they were all about, reinvigorating the fan experience at their sporting events, whether it was football, basketball, any of the ticketed events, baseball, gymnastics, and the such. And they're going to implement a lot of those things that worked for them at Missouri here at the University of Arizona. We had a chance to hear from the athletics director at the University of Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois, prior to her first game week of her tenure. And to say she's excited would be an understatement.
You know what? I can't say enough good things about Ray Flores. So how about we give him a round of applause? Thank you, Ray. And we were talking earlier, and I was here in 94 to 97, and I was like, was Tucson a foodie town back then? And I'm like, either I was too poor and didn't have money to go out to restaurants, but I remember a big date night was when I got to go to El Charro. So I'm so glad El Charro still exists. And, Tucson, the food here is absolutely incredible. My husband and I have sampled so many different restaurants. Of course, El Charro and Charro Vita are some of our favorites. But every time we go out to dinner, I'm like, that cannot get any better. Like, the food here is incredible. So I'm glad that the rest of the world is discovering what a foodie town we are here in Tucson. But, we're here because we are 8 days away from our first kickoff. How about that? Is everybody else as excited as I am? And we have some incredible momentum. But before I talk about that, I just want to say a sincere thank you to our fans. We are up 19% in season tickets from this time last year. We have our highest number of season tickets sold since 2018. And that is just a tribute to our incredible fan base. So thank you, Tucson. Thank you to the whole state of Arizona. And thank you to every Wildcat fan who has bought season tickets, who is coming, the passion and the momentum. I love this place. That's why I came back. And I know our community does too. We went on a caravan in the spring, and from everywhere from Nogales all the way to Phoenix and Glendale, and we had stops in between. What really warmed our heart was the incredible fan base. So I cannot wait to see you all in 8 days as we start the Coach Brennan era. And Coach Brennan, we had great momentum, that great 10-2 season, but Coach Brennan is absolutely taking it to that, building on that foundation and taking it to that next level. How about we are top 21, First time, Nate's first time since what? Yeah, how about that? First time Nate tells me since 2015. How about that? And have you guys seen T-Mac yet? Oh my gosh, T-Mac looks incredible. First time we've had a preseason first team All-American since when? 2015? 2016. First time ever. They just started the poll in 2016, so let me be real. But we have so many incredible things to be excited about, and we cannot wait to see everyone in 8 days. But again, I just want to say a thank you to our fan base. We have some exciting new initiatives. We're really big on surveys, so we've sent out a few surveys, and Tony Daniel is going to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes that you'll see this fall. But expect, I'm sorry to our fan base, but you're going to get surveys after every single game. And then on Mondays, we look at your surveys, we read them all, and we try to make adjustments because the fan experience is so incredibly important to us. So Ray Flores talked a little bit. You had a great chance. How about the elote bites, by the way? Oh my gosh, are those amazing? Right? That's right. I know. Those are, thanks for going there. But it's an exciting time of year. I cannot wait to get started. The other day, we had the chance to go with 4 of our student athletes to Big 12 Media Days. And we had a bunch of challenges on the travel, et cetera. And I got to spend about 8 or 9 hours with T-Mac and with Gunnar Maldonado and with Noah Fafita and with Nuku. And I really got to see them and see what incredible people they are. You're onto something very special when your 4 best players are the best leaders and best people. These are young people who were carrying luggage without being asked, who went to the pilots and emptied the plane, who made sure that everywhere they went, they left it better than they found it. So these are some really special young people. And I think that's what makes me so excited for this football season. Because I see a lot of our colleagues in the back, and they know these are to be able to have a full Arizona stadium and to debut this team, there is nothing more special about being under those lights. So we cannot wait for 8 more days. We have some special fan initiatives for you, and we're going to make it so incredibly fun. So again, we're going to work really hard to make this incredible community proud. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you to Ray Flores. Thank you to all of our colleagues who are going. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to all of our colleagues. We have some new food offerings, some new grab and goes. And like I said, we're going to keep enhancing that fan experience to make it the fiesta we all know that it's going to be. So with that, does anyone have any remarkably easy questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
Maybe not easy, John.
And I'm not doing it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Be about some stuff that came out about House settlement and Ohio State.
Oh, that's where you went? We're talking about fiestas. I know, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's important. All right, you want me to go serious now?
Yeah.
All right.
About maybe losing the 150 student athletes at Ohio State, training some programs as basically club programs. Are you seeing that talked about in what are Arizona's plan on its going forward?
We made commitments we have 22 sports. I think Ohio State has maybe 36 or something a little higher. And so I understand what they did and why they had to do that. But we make commitments to those young people when we recruit them. And so I think someone asked me on my first day, was it in this room, Nate? Okay. Wow, it seems like so long ago, doesn't it? Someone asked me if I plan to cut sports. And we're not going to cut sports. But do we have to evaluate every one of our expense items, every one of our revenue opportunities? We do, because we have that pressure and that reality of that $22 million. We started out with, I think, about 16 different models. As new information comes because of the House settlement, or as new information just becomes in talking with our colleagues or evaluating with our Title IX consultants, et cetera, then we continue to adjust and refine. We listened to each one of our coaches, and we met with them and got their feedback as to what's important for their programs. And so we've taken those 16 models, we took it to 12, we took it to 8, and now we're at about 4. But there's still a lot of information that we don't yet know. And so we want to make sure that we are competitive, fiscally responsible, and fair. So that will be our guide, if you will. And then also, the University of Arizona Athletics, we represent $266 million in annual economic impact. It's a really big deal. I know what it was like in 1997 when we won the national championship. This is a championship level program. And yes, we all read the EY report. We know we have some challenges and we have some work to do. But that's what we're going to all roll up our sleeves and we're going to link arms, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
Does being competitive, nationally viable, is that 22% of the previous year? Will Arizona always be at that top level of expenditure with the competitive programs in the nation?
I think you're asking me, will we spend exactly that amount? Right now, we're going to look at what do we actually need to be competitive, right? Because once you give it, you can't take it back. So what is it our programs actually need? And then what's going to be the standard in our league? What's going to be the standard in the top 25 programs? What do we need to be competitive, and not just competitive? Like, we're not in it for participation trophies. All right, let's be clear. We're in it to win championships. So what do championship programs need? And one thing I really appreciate about Coach Brennan and Coach Lloyd and all of our coaches, they're not going to spend just to spend. Like, we're going to spend because this is what we need to do. So, and remember, student athletes, I'm going to go back to my first meeting with our football team. And I think it was like a 6 a.m. meeting. I think it was my first or second day on the job. And I was over like right in the end zone. And I looked back at section 10, and I talked about why I came back to the University of Arizona. And I came back because I love this place. And I asked several of our young men, why did you stay? And it was the same thing, because they love the University of Arizona. Now we're going to have to invest. And you know what? Like any massive change, which is what this is, right? We're seeing college athletics transformed in front of our very eyes. Any massive change, there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, but that's why we have to make sure that we're guided by our principles, we're guided by our core values, and we're going to be competitive, we're going to be fair, and we're going to be very good stewards of our resources.
In your time working in the administration here.
All right, that is Desiree Reed-Francois at her press conference on Friday ahead of the opening of the football season this weekend at Arizona Stadium, talking about some of the new things you're going to see, talking about the economics of athletics right now as she takes over here at the University of Arizona. Again, reiterating what she said at her first press conference back in the early portion of this year, that there is no intention at this particular time to cut sports at the University of Arizona. But again, things have to be evaluated as they try to get themselves out of the debt to which they currently find themselves in. So there's still a lot of work to be done for Desiree Reed-Francois and this new department that she's putting together. Man, we had a chance to hear from Tony Daniel, who is her director of engagement. She has brought over a lot of her team from New Mexico to help her in this transition here at the University of Arizona. And again, there was a lot of good reviews from what they did at Missouri. You can only hope that the same things begin to transpire here at the University of Arizona in terms of fiscal responsibility and moving the program forward. A bunch of folks, Nikki Berry, who you'll be hearing about, she's a brand manager, came over as well from the University of Missouri. Quite a few people that were on that staff are making their way here to Southern Arizona to help in this transition with Desiree Reed-Francois. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. One more segment to go. We are taking you right up to the Brent Brennan Show at the top of the hour, 6:05, live and direct from Union Public House. Brent Brennan and the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries. You will hear them every Monday night, well, almost every Monday night. Every Monday night that there's not a bye involved and no game coming up, but pretty much for the next 12 or so Monday nights over the course of the next 14 or so weeks, you'll have Brent Brennan every Monday right here at 6:05 on Wildcats Radio 1290. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collision that's clearing at Speedway and Craycroft and Speedway, and some busy travel, Grant Road and Alvernon. Road work continuing on Grant Road east of Country Club to east of Alvernon. Also Dodge Boulevard closed south of Grant Road. Tomorrow, a 25% chance of rain, and it is 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
The summer is long in Tucson, and it's not over yet. Our team at Picturox Cooling has put together a $69 service call August special. Picturox Cooling, keeping you cool all summer long. Proudly featuring Rheem air conditioning systems. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, heating and plumbing.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Does Umar Ballo's decision to play for the Indiana Hoosiers change your feeling about his legacy as an Arizona Wildcats player?
Umar Ballo was about as Wildcat as it gets. Look at the smile on his face when he talks about what the McHale crowd means to him. That's real. How do you be a fan, David? That's the conversation we're having. You want to open that Pandora's box. Like, what does it mean to be a fan, and how do you fan? Well, that's really up to you.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard. The driveway needs filling in. Or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot Arizona summer? Great news at Super Tune-Up Time at Rightway. We'll come out and perform our 42-point Energy Saver tune-up on your air conditioning system for only $59. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash, all for only $59. If you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, we'll include a leak check at no charge. Call Rightway at 520-640-COOL for the $59 Super Tune-Up Special.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zeldy is introducing Zeldy Hardy's, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardy's, a new way to treat ED, today. Text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
This is Zach Gelb of the Sports Minute. The 12 teams I have making the college football playoff this year are Georgia, Ohio State, Kansas State, Virginia Tech, Oregon, Alabama, Penn State, Texas, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Michigan, and Liberty. And in the semifinals, I have Georgia defeating Oregon and Alabama taking down Ohio State. And then I have Georgia defeating Alabama in the national championship game by a final score of 27-17. I'm Zach Gelb.
Guess what, people?
Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, final segment of today's show. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. 520-848-1290. We've touched on a number of subjects today on the program. Again, we've got the Brent Brennan Show coming up for you at the top of the hour, so stay with us. For that, we've got you for about another 15 minutes or so, leading you up to the Brent Brennan Show. The Phoenix Mercury are back on the court today, or tonight, I should say, and all they get is the best team in the league coming in here with the New York Liberty. But they had to play 2 games down in Atlanta this past week. They played a Wednesday and a Friday. Wednesday did not go as planned. Friday, however, was much better for the Liberty.
On up top. This one's good. Goal time for Atlanta as we're approaching the 3-minute mark. Gray, spin, and the bucket. They found an answer for Copper, who has been 1 for 8 this half. Gray with the assignment. Copper with the dish to Taurasi. Taurasi found space. She's so good. Brittany Griner was 4 of 5 in the first half, 10 points. Second half, 6 of 7 for 12 points. Very balanced for Griner, and Diana Taurasi should be illegal. Made a point that it's her show. Jordan Canada left all alone from outside. Griner back, 11.9 on the game clock. Backdoor, what a play. And that will do it. Not enough on that back iron for Atlanta. What an unbelievable game.
And again, this has kind of been the modus operandi for the Phoenix Mercury this season. Since the return from the Olympic break, it has gone win, loss, win, loss, win. So they are 3-2, and that's kind of been the way it is. They're 2 games over 500 right now at 16-14. Are the Mercury coming into tonight's game at home? Big game for Brittany Griner in Friday night's win. 22 points for Brittany as the Phoenix Mercury were able to hold off the Atlanta Dream down the stretch. The Dream 8 games under 500, so you had to get out of there with at least 1 win, and the Mercury did just that. 18 for Diana Taurasi. She made 3 trays in the game. 16 for Kalia Copper. She hit a huge bucket late to seal the win, and now the ladies will come home and take on the Liberty tonight. Best team in the league, 25-5, are the New York Liberty, led by none other than Brianna Stewart. 20 points a game, shooting 45% from the field. One of the best to ever play it at this level, and their point guard, Sabrina Ionescu. So it's star power coming into Phoenix tonight. Sabrina averaging 6 assists per ball game in 33 minutes. Kalia Copper for the Phoenix Mercury, having a very good, solid season in her first year out here in the desert. 23 points per ball game this season for Kalia Copper. Natasha Cloud obviously leading the point for the Mercury as she comes into tonight's game, averaging 7 assists per contest. The money line tonight is in favor of the New York Liberty, as you might imagine, at -290. And the spread on this one is the Liberty by 6.5 with tip-off coming up at 7 o'clock. That game, I believe, is being broadcast tonight on NBA TV. 520-848-1290 if you want to dive into the Mercury and what you saw over the weekend or have some thoughts on tonight's game against Liberty. If you're heading up to the game, give us a call. But if you're heading up to the game, you should probably already be in Phoenix because tip-off is just an hour away. All right, I was talking about Cup Bop last hour because we had a sweet deal. We got a sweet deal coming up this Friday with Cup Bop, which is a Korean barbecue in a cup. And it said it reminded me of one of the original Karens, or at least one of the more popular original Karens, the Kids Bop mom. And I had to go and pull this because it is actually one of the more funnier ones that you're going to find. Hopefully I edited this correctly because there is some things in here that you probably are not safe for radio. But here is Kids Bop mom.
I'm sorry, really sorry.
You are?
No, it's my fault.
It is your fault.
Yeah, I know it's my fault. That's why I'm saying sorry. Eh?
She thinks it's cute that her driver almost hit my kids, and she thinks she needs to take a video of it instead of apologizing like a saint.
So stopping in the middle of the road is gonna help?
You being a bitch is gonna help?
I didn't say anything.
I don't know. Calm down. Calm down.
It's okay, I'm sorry.
He apologized.
It's my fault.
He apologized.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? That didn't upset me. But the hoe
Sorry.
that told me to calm down, what I'd like you to do is apologize instead of being a bitch.
You're calling me sorry, but you're calling me a bitch. So set an example.
I'm sorry. My kids can't hear me calling you a bitch.
Your window's open.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
Kids Bop, which, if you're not familiar, is one of those stations where they play pop music for kids on a satellite radio near you. But yeah, Kids Bop mom, one of the original Karens. The guy in the cab or the Uber almost hit her kids, and she just wasn't having it. And the girl in the back of the ride share filmed her losing her mind, as Karens have been known to be filmed nowadays. But yeah, Cup Bop reminding me of Kids Bop mom. $50 gift certificate for $25. It is a sweet deal, and you can get it on Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.com. All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for you.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the college football season is upon us. The first press conference for one Mr. Brent Brennan was today, as we have arrived at game week. Now, let you hear a couple things he said here. One of the things he said last week, he was talking, was about one of the cool aspects of training that the Wildcats have put into their new facilities. Obviously, they built the Davis Center, and then they built the Lowell Stevens football facility, and then they built the Davis Center. And when they built the Davis Center, they built a cold pool, which you probably have never seen it, but it's kind of like a lap pool looking little area that's right up next to the academic building, on the backside of the academic building. And it's a place that the guys can go after practice and, cool down and whatnot. Back in the day, they used to have these big troughs that they would fill with ice, and the players would go and sit in these troughs. Well, now it's just like an actual real pool. You don't have to put ice in it because it is, they've got a temperature control, so they can just make it as cold as they want. And the players can go over there and get their iced selves down in this pool setting versus a trough. And so he thought that was really cool. And so I asked him today if there were any other aspects of being here in Tucson at U of A and this new facility that kind of stood out to him as being advantages that maybe he did not have when he was in in San Jose. Here's what Brent Brennan had to say with that.
Brent, you mentioned last week the coal pool as being kind of one of the advantages that's nice about being at a school like University of Arizona. What are some of the other things that have been in place here that you look back and say, man, if we'd have had that at San Jose State, we'd love to have been having those types of advantages?
Well, I think everybody has contributed greatly to having this amazing facility here, and it wasn't until our last season that we actually had that really nice football building. I think that has a chance to impact recruiting. It impacts your teaching environment, your learning environment. It impacts your recovery, your training room, your weight room, all those things, So I think, we're definitely fortunate to have what we have here. And I think the guys do a good job of respecting it.
And so one of the other things that was interesting, we talked about it also earlier, is that the picnic that they normally have, which is normally on today when they welcome back the athletes, they had that yesterday. And he went on later on in his press conference, did Britt Brennan, and talked about that. We mentioned they had the dunk tank and how he got dunked. And he thought that was something that also stood out about the University of Arizona that was different from his experience at San Jose State University.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, plenty of times. I'm always up for that stuff. That was a really nice thing. I thought it was great to get all the student athletes together, to get them all together with all of our coaches and support staff and administration. It was a really well-run event. The staff, everyone that put it together did a great job, and the dunk tank was kind of fun. I mean, I was up there for a while, I think somebody gassed our boss, Desiree, on the first pitch. It was, I got to watch people miss for 20 throws. She got knocked in there in the first one. So it was great. It was a cool environment, great to get all student athletes together. I think, kind of on your question, one of the really awesome things about University of Arizona is that our athletes eat breakfast together. And so to your question, we weren't able to do that at my previous institution. And I think there's real value in that because they do care about each other and they do support each other. And so then that way, when you have an event like you had yesterday, it's actually meaningful. And a lot of the student athletes hadn't seen each other since summer. And so it was a great kind of, hey, the semester's starting, let's kick this thing off. It was really cool.
Indeed, Bear Down Kitchen. That's another unique advantage that maybe you're not going to find at a lot of places where, like you mentioned, the student athletes can all eat together, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner that they have there in the facility at the Lowell Stevens football complex there. So Brent Brennan, and enjoying some of the riches of being at a little bit higher level Division I school.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we're coming up on the Brent Brennan Show here at the top of the hour, live from the Union Public House. If you're not there, you still have some time to get over there. It'll be Brian Jeffries and Brent Brennan, and they'll take your questions live. You can hear that every Monday night here on Wildcats Radio 1290, except for the days when there will not be a game, or the weeks where there will not be games, and there'll be two of those coming up. We have a bye week in September after these first three games, and then we have a bye week in November as well. So it actually will be nice because the Wildcats will have a bye week going into their their Big 12 opener at Utah. They'll have a bye week going into that. So that'll be a nice advantage. You'll get to play these three non-conference games against New Mexico, Northern Arizona, and then the big one at Kansas State, and then a week off to prepare for the trip to Utah, which will be at the end of September. And then again coming home for their conference home opener the following week, which will be October the 5th against Texas Tech, which I think is going to be another really big rivalry. Once we get going in the Big 12, I believe Texas, and I've said it before, I believe Texas Tech is going to be could be a big rivalry for Arizona. I think BYU is going to be a big rivalry for Arizona. I think Kansas, obviously, on the basketball side, and that could translate onto the football side because Kansas plays pretty good football now. They're not the doormat that they used to be. Kansas State obviously plays some good football, but I definitely think that those three, Kansas, BYU, and Texas Tech, could definitely become strong rivals for the University of Arizona as they go into this new iteration of their lives in the Big 12 Conference. All right, we're going to have much more coming up for you all week long. We'll have Wildcat Breakdown tomorrow. Glenn Howe will join us. We'll break down a couple of more of the position groups for you. I believe tomorrow we're going to do the wide receivers and the defensive backs as we lead into our game coverage. Kelvin Ifan will join us. He'll be joining us on Thursdays as he did last week. We'll have a lot more folks for you. We're going to be getting Kyle Quinn into the mix. He's on our game day coverage. He'll be joining us as well throughout the season, talking Arizona football. Lamont Hunley will be back with us again this year, talking Arizona football. So lots of fun stuff coming up for you as we continue to give you the best breakdowns of Arizona football that you're going to find anywhere, with the guys that know it best, the guys that played the game and wore the Cardinal and Navy here for the University of Arizona. So join us all season as we dive in and dissect, as we like to say, dive in and dissect everything that is Arizona Wildcats football. I'd like to thank J.W. Madden for being a part of this show. I'd like to thank Cricket as well for being a part of this show. We will be back with you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip. My name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Brent Brennan's first coaches show is next right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Traffic sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. So we got Waterline work continuing. Country Club in Glen. Southbound Country Club approaching Glen down to 1 lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. Downtown road work on Stone Avenue between Alameda and Pennington. And for your weather, 25% chance of rain tomorrow and 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by True Green. If you want a great-looking lawn next spring, now is the perfect time to get started, and nobody makes it easier or more affordable to get a green, healthy lawn than True Green. Sign up today for an annual plan and get 50% off one application. Visit TrueGreen.com today. Restrictions apply.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Football season is upon us, but if you'd like to see even more great drives, you can see us at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Wherever the road takes you, we wish you a safe and happy Labor Day.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
If you have a Wildcats license plate on your car, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wild.